Yeah, let's do some quick intros so you guys have a sense of the speakers. My name is Ari. I'm the founder and CEO of Farmhand. I'm in Sebastopol, about an hour and a half northwest of San Francisco. And my background's in technology, but I'm a backyard gardener on a 5 acre orchard in a small market garden and have a couple CSA memberships, a veggie CSA and a protein CSA. And yeah, I'm really excited about helping small farmers, helping kind of local food win out, increase share of the food dollar for small producers, and just building a better food system for myself, my kids, future generations, et cetera. So that's a little bit about me. Michelle, you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah, yeah. My name's Michelle Keniston. I'm the head of marketing here at Farmhand. I've spent the better half of my career helping small farmers and businesses with their marketing, and now I have the privilege of working directly with our farmers to help them spread their story, build word of mouth, and my favorite topic today, their newsletters.
Great. And I'll have Trisha do her introduction later as we get into kind of her perspective. Trisha's a farmer and also a farmhand customer. Turn it over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. So, the number one thing that we've seen here at Farmhand is when it comes to growing your CSA, it kind of all boils down to your newsletter. And one thing we've noticed is when members receive consistent communication from their farmers, and that's weekly, twice a month, they're more likely to purchase directly from the farm. So whether that's an add-on or a subscription renewal, they've been able to connect with you one-on-one, and that's really what's driving them to buy more from you. So when you're communicating regularly with your members, you're not just making them feel in the loop, but you're also reminding them why you're there, why it's important to buy from you, and why it's crucial to trust you. So in sending our newsletters for the past year, we've seen some really impressive engagement rates, especially when it comes to open rates and click-through rates. And while these may seem more like a vanity metric, they are pretty important when it comes to measuring engagement of your audience. So they're basically key indicators in your overall email performance, and how well your audience is responding to your message. So, industry average for the average farm is about a 27% open rate and a click rate around 3.4%. And those numbers basically mean how many members are opening your email and how many are clicking through. What we've seen here at Farmhand is pretty much nearly double those averages, with open rates exceeding 55% and click rates nearing 20%. And one thing that we've noticed is the emails that are performing the best and getting the best open rates are those with a single call to action, which we'll dive into in a little bit. And what that means is you're asking the audience basically to focus on one thing, buy one thing from you that week, send in one review, refer one friend. Those are the newsletters that are really seeing the best performance because they're the most structured. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we've sent a lot of emails in the past year. We've hit about 500,000 inboxes, and we took all of that data and analyzed which emails are performing best. So that's open rates of 60% or higher and any click-through rate of 15% or higher. And what it boils down to is three key things that we found. So, first and foremost, we're going to say this a lot, consistency is key. So, everything from branding to subject lines to consistent formatting and send dates, that's all what's really important when you're trying to build trust in your brand and letting your audience know what to expect from you. And one surprising element is as marketers, you kind of learn to try to switch up a subject line, keep things interesting, but that actually can be counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to communicate to your audience every single week, giving them an idea of what to expect. And when it comes to CSA members, they want to know what's in my box this week. What can I buy from you? What extras are you featuring? And is there any new highlights I need to look out for? So again, this kind of single call to action is basically an idea to stick to a single call to action, let folks know that there's one thing to buy from you versus trying to fit in multiple messages into one email. That's just going to cause confusion and it kind of pushes members more into a browse mode where they're not really thinking about a specific thing that they need to do or way to support you that week. Um, so that actually is not what's leading to sales. It's that single call to action that you want to focus on. So weekly newsletters we found have actually driven the most engagement. And when it comes to structuring them, you want to optimize for skimmability. So readers today, they're very busy. They're probably reading your newsletter when they're either getting ready for work, on the train, in between meetings. So they want to know, how can I quickly scan through your email? What can I read that pops out to me? What's information that maybe I'll save for later? So being able to format something that's more visual versus text heavy is what we found performs best and what we're optimizing for here at Farmhand. So you want to make sure that you're keeping the same structure in this email every single week. So we always recommend starting with what matters most to members, what's in their box that week. Then you're going to try to give them some information, some behind the scenes content always performs best when you're giving them a glimpse into the farm and what's going on every week to week, whether it's seeding something, harvesting something, sharing a fun picture of you out in the field, just giving them that kind of inside view. And then from the structure, you just want to make sure it's the same every single week so members know that they can rely on that content week after week. And one key message that we keep saying, stay consistent. A single theme every single week is going to give members an idea of what to look out for too. So let's use arugula as an example. If arugula is your theme of the week, maybe because it's being freshly harvested or you're featuring it for an add-on sale, you're going to make sure that theme carries throughout your entire newsletter. So starting with the introduction, kick it off with, hey, a couple months ago we planted this. The seeds are organic. Here's where we got them. Let them know the work that went into actually growing this food, and it's going to give your members much more appreciation for the food that they're getting from you. Then to keep that consistent theme going through, you can feature it. We always like to recommend some storage tips, some health benefits, and then pair a recipe with it. Give your audience good information, tips, and resources for how to use this ingredient in their day to day. And first and foremost, always make sure you're including a link so they know where to get it. So we have Trisha from Dillish Farm here with us today. She's actually leveraged her newsletter to bring in more market sales and have people visit her booth at the farmers market asking about recipes that they saw in her newsletter. So Trisha, I'd love to just hear from you. How's your newsletter been going? How has it helped drive sales for you this year?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to do this. I've tried to even share with lots of other local farms out in my area that this is just a really great opportunity to generally have, 6 employees working for me. It feels like maybe 10, I don't know. But getting those consistencies are two things. Having the form to fill out that we give you is easy because it keeps us on track. So when you're saying those consistencies are important, you've made it so that I don't have to think about them. I just know that every week I have to give you a little story about something and build that tiny one goal for the customer, right? And that's built a lot exponentially, because as a farmer, I'm like, gosh, so much happened this week and I have to tell everyone everything. And I'm like, now I don't know what am I asking them to do, but like help me with all the craziness. And so keeping me on track of like, okay, I'm just going to tell them one thing start to finish, and it's simplified and it goes in. So we've seen that in our time savings and in our sales with our customers. We have a lot more customers that are skipping in time before we harvest because they've gotten their newsletter in a timely manner. So that's not only because they have like an open rate, that's really good. They're seeing it. They're saying, I'm actually on vacation. Shoot, I forgot. And they let me know beforehand. So I'm not wasting time harvesting more than I need to. And so those are monetary gains that I don't see in a monetary way. I see in a savings way as well. And then it's given us time to have those building conversations at the booth, as well as time to make more marketing in other directions. I hope that is an accurate description of my help.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll chime in for Gail, who couldn't attend but shared her hello to everybody. So Gail has grown her CSA program quite a bit over the last year. When she initially joined Farmhand, she was around like 60 members, and now she's north of 200. And I had asked her, what do you think was like, obviously there's lots of things that go into doing that, but I was like, what do you think are like the top three things? And one of the things she highlighted was the newsletter. It was something she wasn't doing consistently, prior to working with us. And then it became, like Trisha said, like a consistent process. We held her accountable. And yeah, it really was pivotal in growing the CSA. And then in light of, the current events, funding freezes, she was impacted and actually featured in an NPR article, kind of spotlighting her story. It really brought to light the power of having now built that community through the newsletter and through all of the interactions at the farm, at the market, on social media, where she shares updates as well. And so she was able to leverage the newsletter to fundraise, both in like traditional and non-traditional ways. So she sent out just an ask for help, and people, donated money, and that was great. She also spun up a plant sale, and so then same thing, people pre-ordered plants from her. So it really is a all-purpose tool. Obviously, it takes time to build the trust of the community and kind of cultivate that community, but it is something that will pay forward over time, especially in these unconventional or unexpected ways. Yeah, so I thought it would be helpful to actually just like make a newsletter. There's one thing to like talk about it, but there's another thing to like make it, because then we can all kind of like just chat through the process. So yeah, I'll attempt a live demo, which is always risky. So we'll see how it goes. But afterwards, we'll definitely have a chance for questions. You can address the questions to Michelle or Trisha or myself, and then we'd be happy to answer them. So here we go. All right. All right. So the first thing that we kind of talked about is accountability. And I think that's huge. I hear this all the time from people where it's like, we're all small business owners, we run our own business, and like nobody's holding you accountable to anything, right? Like it's easy to slack off. So uh, kind of the process we've set up that works really well. And if you're not using us, you can always like set your own schedule reminders, is like pick the date. Okay, it's going to be Friday at 12 p.m. That's when we're sending our newsletters. And so based on that date, Farmhand will message you ahead of that deadline to prepare the information for the newsletter. But same thing, like that if you're going to send it at 12, you got to work on it either the morning of or the night before. And so when we're building the newsletter, like Michelle said, we like to start with what's in the box. So I didn't mention this, but I mainly have apples. So obviously I'm going to feature apples. I also have lemons. They're still in bloom, so I'm still harvesting them. a lot of chard. I mean, this chard is like indestructible, just keeps growing. So I got some chard, and then I got some bok choy as well. So I'm gonna add that in. Yeah, if there's any like quantity, like I actually have a lot of apples, so increase that. Um, Microgreens, growing those, so I'm gonna add that. And then first strawberries. Now I don't have them. I'm jealous of those who have them, but I did see a nearby farm marketing their first strawberries, so maybe I'll just get it from them. So yeah, we've built this. So this is what's going in my farm share. If I had multiple sizes, I would basically do it for multiple sizes, but I could just copy over what's already in here. Yeah, then when it comes to sharing the update, uh, I'm a little bit time strapped. I have a newborn, running a business, also have a hobby farm, so I'm gonna keep it short. First strawberries of the season. Um, yeah, our farm crew is enjoying the warm spring weather. Got up to like 78 here the other day. And our farm dog, Betty, is as well. Now that's probably not something I would send as is. It's like a little bit shorthand. So we do have this feature where you can rewrite it. So I'm going to rewrite it. You can also stylize, like if you want to stylize things, let's see what it did. First strawberry seasons are here and they're as sweet as sunshine. Our farm crew has been eagerly picking these ruby red gems, enjoying the warm spring weather that seems to have everyone smiling, especially our loyal farm dog, Betty. Betty loves to trot alongside us between the rows, occasionally stopping for a sunny nap in the soft dirt. We hope you're ready to savor the taste of spring. Our strawberries can truly brighten any day. So if you like that, you can go with it. If you don't like it, then yeah, you can rewrite it again. So let's see. I'm gonna upload a photo, probably photo myself. Kind of weird to upload photos of yourself, but let's start there. Upload some strawberries, and then of course my apples. These are all real photos too. These are my fruit. I've grown all these. All right, so now we're all set there. Yeah, highlights. So yeah, let's do unique item. So I'm gonna highlight an item. Let's do the apple. Just pick it here. We actually, I should have mentioned this, but we basically have like a Johnny Seeds like directory of all these products. So that's kind of what you're pulling from here. Obviously, like some people name things different or have preferences, so you can always retitle things. But that's essentially what I'm pulling from. So yeah, this works for me. I'm happy with this. So I'll hit next up, and then a recipe. So yeah, some people want to write their own or kind of do that. Not me. I'm just searching for recipes on recipe sites or people I follow. I also just hate recipe sites. There's just so many ads, and it's just like whack-a-mole trying to just get to the recipe. But we also just kind of strip out a lot of that. You can just hit generate recipe for me. So it looks like it created a lemon sauteed bok choy and Swiss chard. Oh, perfect. The recipes are going to be generated off the items that you include in the box. So obviously, we're hitting on a few of these items. And then I'll go next step, and you can get a little preview. So this is what it's going to look like. Oh, nice. It's me outside my Asian pear tree. Here's the first strawberries kind of story. There's my apples. And then here's what's inside my upcoming share. This is the add-on Michelle was talking about, simple large buttons. I don't really like hyperlinks. Like they especially are weird on mobile phones. Like keep in mind, 50% of people are seeing this on their mobile phone. So you always got to think about what does it look like on mobile. And a lot of times I receive newsletters and it's like things are just like jambled and it doesn't really work. There's the featured item, and then there's the recipe again, formatted to fit a recipe. And then we just have kind of like a standard footer where you can add common things like your handbook or social media clips. And then that's it. I'm going to hit approve, and then we're all set. And then this is going to go out. I was actually a little bit late on it, so I think it's actually going to go out soon. And then, yeah, for the newsletters that have already sent, you're going to see them here. So you'll see the analytics. So you can see here, high open rate, high click rate. So yeah, I'll pause there. Should hopefully give you kind of an idea of like how I would go about building a newsletter and kind of how our system works with regards to just trying to get the key information from you and then bring it into these best practices that we've just over time observed, be most effective. Yeah, so I go ahead, Trisha.
Are other companies doing this? Who's your competition? Who else is doing this? Because I'm like blown away right now. And I make this newsletter and I'm like, this is the upgrade we didn't know we needed, and you just blew it out of the water right now.
I don't know. I really don't like the word competitor because I feel like, yeah,
Okay.
there's a market where like a lot of people can exist helping a lot of people. But I would say nobody's doing what we're doing, but yeah.
That was amazing. I want to give you like a round of applause, honestly. That was really great. I'm like excited to use it. I'm like, can I write some newsletters right now? I have nothing to send. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, thanks.